Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Equity Guys pre-market video. My name is Chirag, an ISM certified technical analyst, and let's get into the view for today. Nifty did close towards the day high along with Bank Nifty and Sensex. So Sensex almost closing 0.5% positive. So it's extremely positive. So let's look at the data for today. Looking at how Nifty and Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures, we can see both Nifty futures and Bank Nifty futures are trading at a premium of 53 points and 100 points respectively, and that is extremely bullish data coming in from Nifty over there. Moving on to the India VIX, we see that India VIX is almost down 4.5%. So India VIX being down 4.5% is extremely positive and bullish in nature there, giving you a positive sentiment. The risk index or the fear index there is actually going a little lower. So the fact that the people are getting more confidence to get into the market is definitely a good sign there. Coming over to crude oil is almost down 2% if you look at from yesterday, and that is extremely bullish for the market and for the Indian economy. If you also look at it, overall it's trading below the pre-COVID levels of 6,500. So overall, the view for crude oil is extremely bullish there. Moving on to GIF Nifty. GIF Nifty we see close to about a 60-point gap down today, which is quite out of the blue. But let's see if the gap down sustains or if we can start moving up or not. Going over to gold bees and silver bees, we see that gold bees and silver bees both down about 0.5% there, which is again a little bit bearish in nature. But again, let's see the rest of the data, what we have for today. Moving on to the sectors, there's no problem in any sector at all. All sectors we see good amount of buying, extreme amount of buying here, which is all on the positive end, giving you a very positive market breadth, a very bullish market breadth also you can say here. So there should be no problem from the sectoral side of things. Looking at the NSE data, almost 2050 stocks in advances and only 938 stocks in decline, giving you a very strong positive sentiment in the market. So definitely looking on the upside today here. Looking at the FII data, there is a little bit of selling in the cash market from FIIs, but then looking at DIIs, you almost see about 2,000 crores of buying from DIIs. DIIs have bought every single sell day that they where the FIIs have sold. So that is extremely good coming in from the DIIs there. Looking at the F&O segment though, a small bit of selling in index futures, just about 35 crores from the FIIs. And then in stock futures, a good amount of buying of almost 2,300 crores in the stock futures there from FIIs. So that is some strong indication that we can see in the short term, where the FIIs are buying for the short term intraday positions in the stock futures. Looking at advance decline ratio, we have about 28 advances and 22 declines, kind of on the neutral side here, but again little bit leaning towards the positive side, especially because we have the automobiles and stuff sectors being on the positive side here. Looking at Nifty Bank, 9 advances and only 3 declines, so extremely positive over there too. Moving on to the option chain over here. So in the option chain here, on the left side we have calls, and in the money calls we see a good amount of buying, but out of the money calls we see a good amount of selling here, which is on the bottom. And on the right side we see selling in both in the money and out of the money puts. So overall the market is looking a little bullish as per the option chain. So keeping that in mind, we're kind of looking for major supports for the day, and there we can see most of the volume lies around the ranges of 24,900 to 24,950 ranges there. So we can see the market come down to those levels and take support and possibly move back up if the market has to come down today. There. The market did from yesterday jump up. Market did from yesterday jump up from that oversold region, to the not to the overbought, but towards the neutral region, if you're looking at the PCR data that we combine here. So that is something that we need to watch out for. We are getting towards that oversold region. We're at about 1.1 as of right now, but crossing 1.4 would give you or get you to that oversold region there. Now, moving on to global indices, we do see that Dow Jones is up almost, is pretty neutral here. S&P 500 is on the negative side, almost 0.5% down, and Nasdaq is about 1.5% down here, which is not looking good from the US markets. Looking at DAX, FTSE, and CAC, all of them are extremely positive on the European front. So you have almost 0.5% up from Germany, and almost 0.34% up from FTSE, and CAC is up almost 1.21%. So extremely positive on the European side of things. Coming over to the Asian markets, Nikkei is running at a negative of 1.51%, which is not looking good, and Kospi are running at almost 2% negative there. Looking at the nature of the Nikkei chart, we do see that there is a gap down opening, similarly to what is going to happen in our market. But then the gap down, there's a further break on the downside in the gap, and then it starts going down there again. The Indian markets do follow the nature of Nikkei markets from time to time. Let's see if today that is going to happen with the rest of the data. Moving on to the Indian areas, we do see a little bit of selling in key companies like ICICI Bank and HDFC, which is not good. Infosys seeing some buying today. There was some selling yesterday in Infosys, but overall, we do see there is a good amount of selling in key stocks here, which is not at all good for the Indian market here. I would say a little bit of bearish data coming in from Indian areas. Finally, moving over to the future segment here, US futures here, down almost 0.05%, US 500 down almost 1.4% here, and then US Tech 100 down almost 0.31%. So it's just extremely bearish in nature here. Moving on to the view, guys, as you guys can see, S1, R1, S2, R2 here. The main thing is we need to maintain the supports for today. The main thing we need to look out for today is basically for Nifty to close above 25,020 levels, right? And once we do that, then in the next day or two, we can see that 25,200 levels coming in. And the main way we can close above this 25,020 levels is if the 15-minute high candle is breaken, right? But the low should not be taken out today. That's the major part of today. And again, this 25,020 level is a major resistance. If you can close above that, we can see extremely good moves on the upside. But the major thing, your downside should not be broken. Your S1 and S2 should be protected all of today. And overall, that is the view for today. Looking at this, keeping this in mind, please trade your setup, guys. Don't trade the view. Trade one index, trade one time frame, and make sure you guys are not trading your emotions too. Just a setup, and hope you have a good day trading, guys. See you guys tomorrow for the next pre-market video.